Well, good morning, everybody, to Life Beyond the Clouds. Good morning, Jen.
Morning.
I'm so excited about this. We're going to just keep doing this every week. So we keep saying this so we can connect people. I want everybody to know, and Jen and I want everyone to know that you can have a place that you can come every week and you can start understand how to connect and understand the messages that you're receiving. Understand that it's not scary, that it just wants to help us, that they're there. So I know that you have questions, and there's going to be times I just want to have certain topics that I really want to convey to people too. So this is what we're going to do. We're not going to plan it. We're just going and we're talking, but some of it will be a planned format because we want people to understand how to connect. We want to give them tools and things that they can try to strengthen their energy because I love doing that. And I like people to understand what they have inside of them. Even the hand one, I love that one with the energy, and we'll talk that one as we go because it seems to really help people and resonate with them when they understand who they are and what they have. So I'm excited about doing this with you, and it's about healing people and letting them know that heaven is there, right? You're divine.
It
Your
is.
angels don't disappear. They don't poof into nothingness, right? We come from somewhere, we go back. So it's continual energy. I always just say there's no such thing as death. There's a change of worlds. I've always said that because we cannot kill or destroy energy. And that's what we are. So, I look forward to this, and I'm hoping you're going to have a nice holiday weekend because it is the holiday weekend. So
Yes,
I'm hoping
it is.
you're going to do something nice later on today, but we want to do this for everyone.
Yeah. So I was thinking that today we could actually get into talking about the power of forgiveness. And I don't mean just forgiving others, but actually forgiving yourself, because I feel sometimes the hardest person to show compassion to is the person you see looking back at you in the mirror. So I guess when we hear that, like, what do you think of and what does that mean to you personally about forgiveness?
I just pray every morning and ask the angels what you want me to say. And I just write what I hear. And I have to tell you, forgiveness is probably one of the biggest things that I receive from them. It's like an albatross around your neck, right? It's like this weight. Because I have people come that haven't forgiven themselves, Jen, for things that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. And it's almost like paralyzing them from being able to go forward because they feel like if they keep punishing themselves, then that somehow they're going to get forgiveness when God already did forgive them. I always just say, as soon as you ask, you're forgiven. Forgiveness is really about letting go because it holds the person back. You've got to let go because the soul wants to grow. You got to look at time. It's like time and forgiveness are like the same thing, right? Time never stops and it keeps going. And the forgiveness is, if you don't, it just prevents you from moving forward with it. We've got to learn. We hold on to things, right? And we keep replaying in our mind. If I said this, if I would have done this, or if they wouldn't have said that, and it just puts all this negativity in your energy. It just keeps you from moving forward. And the soul wants to go. It wants to move. It wants to go forward. And you have to let it go. And people will say to me, well, I can't unsee it. I can't unhear it. You can't because that was your lesson, right? So that means you unlearn the lesson if you forgive it. And that's why you learned it. It's like anything in school. It's like a math class. Even if you like it or not, you learned so you can graduate and get the heck out of there. You know what I mean? You can get out of that place. It's not about, I want to stay in that class forever. I've learned it. So when we just realize it's about letting go, oh my gosh. And then you're helping somebody else that's in that place too. You understand when you go through something, I believe it's because you're going to help somebody else someday eventually and say, hey, listen, I was there. I don't care if it's addiction. I don't care what it is that you had in your life. The soul came here for a lesson. So to me, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting if somebody hurts you, because I know people are going to say that, but it's not about that. They are, and you know that because people will message me when I do forgive videos, and they'll say, "Well, that's easier said than done," but it is, but you have to start somewhere because all it does is negative and it prevents it's just that awful feeling, and nobody wants that, and they don't want that in heaven for you. So, forgiveness to me is one of the most important things. You have to forgive yourself too, though, for things that we've done in the past. Everybody has something that if you could undo it, well, you weren't supposed to undo it. You were supposed to have that experience, right? And it's about saying thank you for that. I understand now, and now I'm ready. You know what I mean? I'm taking everything I learned and I'm going and I'm gonna move forward. And that to me is what forgiveness is. It's such a freeing thing. It's just frees you for everything that's waiting for you.
Yeah, so I agree. Just to kind of reiterate something you said, that I do think that not forgiving yourself and holding on to things can really weigh down your spirit. And I think that's probably why forgiveness is a very powerful part of anybody's healing journey. Very interesting that people won't forgive themselves, but are willing to forgive others.
Well, you know what I think sometimes with that? I think we'll forgive others because it makes us feel really good about ourselves to do something good. We go, I'm a bigger person. And that's a really good thing. Oh, don't get me wrong. That's a beautiful thing, right? When you just say, I feel really good because I forgave that person and it's going to make God or my angels or my father happy that I forgave my brother or my sister, right? It's going to make them happy in heaven. But when it comes to yourself, we have so much like we don't love ourselves enough. Sometimes we don't. We'll look in the mirror and say, I look terrible, I look ugly, I look this, and or it's just like I'm not doing anything in my life. And that's not what the divine wants for us. Like we've got to learn. I always just say love starts with you. You've got to love yourself. Every day you should say, I'm a worthwhile person and I like myself. Because just the fact that you chose to come here to this physical earth, that's a big deal. You're leaving a place. It's I always picture it like this like I'm laying, you know what I mean? I always picture all this glass window and all this snow outside like it's a blizzard, right? And you're laying in front of this fireplace. I know everyone's gonna say, what a nice visual, but and you have this beautiful blanket on, you're so warm, right? And you feel so comfortable, like you don't want to get to bed. You want to stay there all day, like there's snowy days that we have, right? We're just like, I want to stay in my pajamas. But then somebody rips the covers off and you're freezing. You know what I mean? You're like, "Oh my gosh." Well, that's kind of like the shock of coming from heaven to earth where but then you start to adjust. It's like, "Okay, let me, you know what I mean, put some more clothes on. Let me get used to it." And that's what this physical journey is. Some people have it sometimes right away because of what they learned in their last lifetime. We have carries over. We're a memory card. Like the souls remember things, right? But I just think when it comes to self forgiveness, we just think that, well, if I stay mad at myself and I don't forgive myself, then that means what I did, I'm going to keep punishing myself. It's like this thing of self inflicted wounds that if we keep punishing ourselves, and that is not what God wants, He wants you to learn from it and to understand and say, I'm really sorry. You know what? I'm never going to do that again. I won't say that to that person. I won't make that mistake again. You know, whether no, we people do a lot of things right? And they just feel like if they keep punishing themselves, that somehow God will forgive them more when He just wants you to learn from it. See,
Yeah,
God loves us. He wants us to learn from it and say, I'm sorry. It's like a parent with a child. You don't want to punish them forever. It's like, go to your room for a little bit, sit down and take a time out and realize what you
right.
did. Now go. See, we have these scenarios, and that's how I look at it. Understand what you did. You don't want them to sit there forever and not like themselves. God doesn't want the same thing for us. We have to understand these correlations between heaven and earth are so real. That's why they exist. So that's just what I think. And I think the more you forgive yourself, the more you can go out and you can spread the love that's inside all of us. And that's what we're really supposed to do.
And I think, also something you've said is that people will say, and I do feel like this will come, but maybe it won't since we're like already speaking about it, that forgiving means forgetting. That couldn't be further from the truth. Forgiving is just about that freedom. Like you said, learning the lesson is the part where you're not forgetting. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. And I don't think people should forget because, again, then that's forgetting the lesson.
It's like you can have 5 children and everyone's gonna be different, right? Some kids are gonna learn the lesson right away, some of them are gonna be a little more hard-headed, and it's gonna take them maybe a couple times to go to their room and realize, "Okay, now I can't watch TV," and then maybe the lesson has to become a little bit more aggressive. "Okay, this time you go in your room, this time" today it's so different, right? Us, it was just go to your room was torture, right? When we were kids, like, "Oh my god, have to stay in the house was torture." Today, you can't get them out of the house, so today it's like, take your cell phone, take your iPad. So, you know what I mean? The first time it's just go to your room, and then it's you start to take these things away from them until they really realize, oh, they're not kidding. Like, I really shouldn't do that. So it's not that for every single person that the lesson comes immediately. Some of us, that's our journey, right? We have carryovers and it takes us a little longer to learn the lesson. But and some people, honestly, Jen, some people don't learn the lesson in life, some don't. Some will go this whole incarnation and might not lose it till their last breath. They might not understand what they did until the very end. But most people, before they leave the physical earth, want to know there's more. They want to know they're going to somewhere. We talk about this too, whether you believe or not. People can say they're an atheist or whatever it is, but you better believe on their last breath, they're hoping, oh my gosh, I hope I was wrong my entire life and that there's something more. But when it comes to the forgiveness, it's just some people it takes longer, some learn it, but the lesson is going to be there and it's going to keep coming back until you learn it. It will show itself in other ways. It'll come back in different ways in your life. And it's not to punish. And again, I don't want people to think that we're being punished. We chose these things, right? We chose. Some people took general math and some people took AP classes on this journey. Some of us wanted to get a lot. You know what I mean? Whether it was addiction, we wanted to learn very hard, and some of us had it last lifetime. So this time we just said, I kind of just want to skim through here and just kind of have an easy life. But the lessons are there for everyone. And it's not to ever compare to people will compare and say, well, they had an easier life. My lesson was harder than theirs. Even in families, siblings will do that. What was easier for you? Or mom liked you better or this, but it's just about the lesson we chose is different. And I think when we understand that, oh my gosh, Jen, when we understand that it's about us and not comparing in the lesson, then it really gives you control over it. It makes you just say, okay, I'm going to tackle my lesson. I'm not going to take what your lesson is and combine it with mine. And that's what we do. We start comparing who had it, a different lesson or had it easier. When you start letting go of all that other crap and saying, you know what, that's for them. I'm going to concentrate on my soul and my journey. Then you start letting go of everybody else's stuff because we carry everybody else's baggage with us too. We do it on a daily basis. We compare, right? Everyone's life or where they're at, or he had it easy, she had it easy, so we're putting all their stuff in with ours. Then it starts to really weigh us down where you just kind of go, I got to get rid of that. I need to focus on me, where I'm going, what I need for myself. Oh my gosh, Jen. Then you're letting go too. Everything's about letting go. It's just, I've done videos on this before. We've done this where I've just said, like even with bags, with your arms, you can only carry so much, right? Until your arms, and then when you put it down on the counter, you're like, oh, thank God, right? And it just feels like a weight's been lifted. So when we just stop carrying around more than we need, we've got to stop condemning ourselves and carrying everything around. When you just really sit and you talk to the divine, I'm a big believer in praying to the angels and the divine. Everybody can have their own way. We talk about that too. I don't judge anybody. You know what I mean? We're not talking any about this stuff with anyone, right? It's about helping you. And if there's someone that this is going to help, this is what we want to do. And it's
Absolutely.
just about when you carry too much stuff, you just feel like, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna make it, and then you do, but then when you put it down, you say sometimes too, "I'm not gonna do that again. Not gonna carry that much again. Oh, that was too much." Well, that's what it also is for the negativity that we carry. It's exhausting to hate someone. When you hug someone, and I don't believe people really wanna be mad at someone either. I don't, even when they'll say, "I can't stand them," but then you'll see them all of a sudden hug, right, and they make up, and then it's just you let go of that. It's like, "Oh my gosh, that feels so good to be in the room with that person again." And not have those feelings. You know what I mean? You want to have love. We want to be loved and we want to give love. People feel better when they're with people they love and they're having fun. You don't like when you feel tension with people. We don't. We just don't by nature. It's not what we're supposed to have with us. We're supposed to, and not everything is sunshine and roses either. So we don't need people to say that either. Look, life is tough and you have real problems with people, but it's when you try to find another way and just say, I can't keep letting this affect my life every single day. That I can't. I can't let them camp out in my head and I can't let this problem camp out in my head. It was never supposed to pitch a tent and live there. It's to understand it. And if you can't figure it out right now, some things you can't, you have to try to find other ways to bring other thoughts into your life and just say, God, take this from me. I can't handle it right now. It's not the time for me to deal with it. You'll show me when. And honestly, it's amazing how when you do these things, Jen, it does work.
Yeah. So, what do you think are some first steps that people could take that just feel stuck in their like anger, their guilt, their shame of things that have happened, to them in the past, and they're just having that hard time of
Okay,
just
well,
letting go?
I have talked about this, and everything's about writing it down too. I'm a believer, and I'll say that to people. And you and I talk about this. You and I talk about so much stuff personally. That's why I love doing this with you because we talk about these things. And it's like when you put, and even this morning we talked about this. Like I'm always a believer in putting pen to paper. So when you keep something in your mind, it's the head and the soul are going to always be in conflict with each other. But when you can get them to be in harmony and say, "Oh my God, yes," it's amazing. So when you finally get things out of your head, so it's like going to the grocery store. If you try to remember everything, I need to get this, this, and this. Then when you come home, it's like, oh my God, I forgot the one thing I needed. Right. But when you write it down and get it out of your head and you write it down and put it on paper and just say, okay, this is what I want to get rid of. This is who I want to apologize to. This is who I want to forgive. And I want to forgive myself. Whatever it is with your list, when you get it out of this mind, because the mind's like a windshield wiper, it's going to go back. And so,
Yeah.
but write it down. You can do whatever you want with it. I believe some people like to burn it. Some people want to put it in pillowcases, write down things. I want to forgive this people. I want to forgive myself. I wanted to learn to love and value myself more. And I always think start with yourself first. Always start with yourself first. Everything will fall in, or you can bury it outside, right? You can dig a little hole, bury it outside. There's so many things that you can do with this. You can put it in a jar and just say, and it's not just letting go too, it's things you want to bring to you. If you want to bring more self love to yourself, say, today I'm going to start to love myself more. On this day, I will start to value who I am. I will start to say, I am a good mother. I am a good wife. I am a good daughter. I'm a good friend. I'm a good coworker. Whatever it is that you feel like, and you start writing it down, I am worthwhile. So it goes both ways. It's things that you want to let go of, and it's things that you also want to bring to you. But it's always about getting it out of that head, because that head, honestly, it's like a child in a playground, right? It's its first time. The soul has been here forever. Like I keep saying, that's your memory card. It knows every single lifetime. It remembers everything. That head wants to take over. The soul's going to always win, but it can cause you some havoc in there before you learn the lesson. But writing it down to me is one of the biggest things, because it makes it real. When you get out of your head, you look at something on paper, it's like, oh, I really do need to do that now. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. So now it's got to happen.
And I love that because I've actually done that myself.
Mhm.
And I actually use the candles that you've talked about before, the fresh start candle. So whenever I want to let something go, I will write that down and I really sit with that and, I release it. And I say I release this with love because I don't want harm to come to anybody. And because I do believe the energy you put out is the energy that you will receive back. This is a great practice. And actually, in the description of this video, I'll put just a quick brief thing on how people could do that and what that involves. Like you said, there's a couple of different things you can do with that. You can put it in a jar, you can, fold it up, put it under your pillow, you can bury it. I know a lot of people that do the burying thing and then also burning it. Now, what I will say, just a little disclaimer, please do that with safety because we don't want to burn anything down. So for me, I'm outside, kind of like a fire pit type area. I love the description of your mind and soul not being aligned, but when they are, it's so harmonious.
It
And,
is.
it feels like such a release actually when you do let that go. So I think this would be a great thing for our listeners to do,
Yes.
like a first step for them, or even like a spiritual tool. This could be a spiritual tool because it's not a one and done thing. You can do
No.
this
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yes. And also too, like, yes, getting back to the fire, please do it. Yes. Don't do this in your house. Don't do this somewhere. Don't I personally like to sleep with under my pillowcase, because I always just believe you're the closest to God when you're sleeping. So for me, I always have and I put them under my mattress. I put things under my mattress too. I just do. That's just what I do. People ask me, well, what is it you do? I want to talk a little bit about what I do. I like them in my pillowcase, and I'll ask for things that I want, and I'll write the date actually down that I want it to happen by. So it's really, really interesting. And when you ask for things, honestly, Jen, it does come, and it's not when you test them. And I always say, please don't test the divine. They work on divine time, not ours. It comes when it's supposed to, which I also think is incredible. And it's funny, I don't really ask for things that much from me. I usually am doing it for other people. I'm usually saying, help this person or do that. But I have to little quick little thing. It was about 4 weeks ago. I was just in this place and space, and I was just kind of saying, I would like confirmation. I kind of giggled when I said, I'm like, Renee, why are you? Because it's like I see it every day, right? But I was asking for something for me. And so it's just interesting. And I love feathers. I just love anything with feathers. I live on the water. So, for me to see feathers is not unusual. So, but I actually asked, I like everything in confirmations of three. I always say that 3 times for me is just how I want my validation, whether it's my hearing a new name for me, knowing it's a new angel or spirit guide. I always want to say 3 times. But I asked for a feather, and my husband kind of laughed. He's like, Renee, we live on the water, you're going to find feathers. I said, but I want it to be somewhere, what I mean, unexpected. So I was praying that morning, and it was a really spiritual, like, I could feel the energy, like, I knew I was really connecting with them. Like, it was something very important for somebody else, but somebody that was close to me. And so I asked for a feather. I walked outside, and on the rocking chair I sit, and there was this beautiful little white fluffy feather with about an hour after I asked. And I was like, okay. So I took it. I keep them, right? So I did a couple podcasts in the morning, some sessions with clients, and I had to go out. And as I'm going out front, there was one, Jen, no kidding, in my front yard, about this long, sticking, with the bottom part straight up in the center of my front yard. And I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. So I grabbed it, put it in the car, and so I was telling Dave, and then that night after I got done with my clients, no kidding, Jen, 9 o'clock at night, I opened up the dishwasher door. I am not kidding you. I opened up the dishwasher door to unload it. There was a feather inside the door. It was wet, but it was stuck, and it was about 5 inches inside the dishwasher door.
Oh my
Dave was
god.
actually standing there and saw it. He wouldn't have believed it. He's like, okay, now I'm free. Now, and I just looked up and I said, thank you. So I always just say thank you too, because, and I was just like, it's just incredible. Like, I know, and I don't need those things, but this was something for somebody else, and I just kinda wanted clarity on it, like, some valid and, like, I don't do that, but and it was just like a huge, like, "Thank you," and everything was okay, turned out okay for them, you know what I mean? But it was just their way of saying, "We've got this, we've got you, we've got it, you're good, don't worry." But you see how incredible that is? Like, even from me, as much information as I give to people and get, I still get so excited. Like, to me, it's like Christmas morning. When I give people
Yeah.
messages, I will get very excited. You've seen me in my like, I do, because I'm so happy for people, because I know that when they receive it, it's going to start to open them up and change their life, that they're going to say, I can do this. I don't want people to ever be dependent on people like me. And I talk about this. I want you to understand that it's within all of you, that you're not, I always say that you're not going to, do what I do, but you're getting these messages. And when you get them on a daily basis and you're not afraid to ask, oh, Jen, it's a beautiful thing. With you, I'll message you sometimes and say, did this happen? Is this going on with you? Did this,
Yeah.
because it's just, I don't know.
You did that pretty recently, actually, which these are literally conversations that I had just recently had. You asked me about some plans and things that, are just up and coming going on in my life. And I said, oh my gosh, like, and just like the detail about like the trip and where it was at. And I'm like, okay, like haven't even discussed this with anybody other than the person that I was having that conversation with. And, which I love. I love. And, I will say you don't do that to me all the time.
I don't.
I don't ever feel uncomfortable being around you because that is something people ask me too, like, oh, she's reading you all the time. No, she's not doing that. She's still a normal person. She's my friend. We can do things and it's not that way. And I said, but I like she knows then when I do ask about something, she knows that that's just something really important to me. I don't ask her about everyday thing. Like you said, we are here to live our lives, to learn lessons, and you can't go through life knowing everything. That's part of why we're here. We're here to learn. So I think that's funny though. I do like that, like, because in having the conversation with the person I was having it with, I thought to myself, well, if this is supposed to happen, I'm going to get some kind of confirmation about it, kind of like you did with
Yes.
your situation. And then you messaged me about this, and I was like, my gosh, we're going to talk about this later. And then it came up again. It was like they were telling you again, like, no, we want you to tell her, like, this is in fact going to happen. And I guess for me, I feel like for a very long time, from my own personal story, I used to be a very just angry individual. I used to let things just upset me, and I would just carry that, kind of like when people say carrying a grudge. And I did that a lot in my younger self, and it wasn't until I got much older that I realized, why am I wasting energy on that? I'm allowing somebody else to make me feel a different type of way or like have my energy shifted. So I think when people do start to let those things go and start learning that practice of forgiveness is releasing and it is freedom for you, you are a much lighter person. And I do think it opens you up to a lot more light and love into that, which was my question to you. How do you think forgiveness actually shifts our energy, like spiritually, emotionally, and even physically for people?
Oh my gosh, Jen, it does. It does. Do you know, you always have to think about this. We have all these endorphins in our body that get released, whether we're laughing, watching comedy movies, right? Because when you do that and you really or with people or watch something funny or anything Christmas, whatever it is, you feel if you see Christmas lights, whatever it is, it gives you that sense of it makes you feel happy, right? For some people, it's the Halloween decoration. I don't care what it is, right? You go, I love that. I love that, right? And how you'll just say, oh, I feel so connected to that. And it feels so good. Well, that's what it does when you finally just say, or say to that person, even if they're not ready, just say, listen, you might not be ready, but I need you to know I'm sorry. And you can just sit with that as long as you need to. And when you finally let that go, and then that person will finally just say, I am too. It releases all this energy in your body. Cause I just keep saying we're energy in these bodies. We're not these bodies. We're not, I sent you that video the other night, and eventually we'll put that up with all the orbs. I just heard my angel saying, go sit in your spiritual room. I came in here and just clicked on my ring camera, right? And turned on my cell phone, and all the orbs were just flying. Looks like it's snowing. Well, this is what we have around us all the time that wants to heal us and love us and say to do this. Jen, when you let go of that, it changes your energy where it brings new energy in. I always just say it's like baking a cake. You don't want to bake a cake with old cake ingredients with new ingredients, right? Because it's not going to work. You've got to let go. You're going to bring in new energy. So eventually, you can't keep putting the new energy in with the old, right? You can mask it for a while. It's like someone, this sounds terrible. It's like not taking a shower and you keep putting perfume on you for 4 days. For the first couple of days, it might work and you might smell okay and get by with it. Eventually, people are going to start saying, do you understand? This isn't right. Well, our energy is the same way. It knows when you're masking it. It knows when you're faking it. It knows when you're, but sometimes too, you have to fake it until you make it. So sometimes you just keep saying, might not feel good today, or I do feel good, but inside part of you doesn't. But the more you keep saying to yourself, see positive, that's why I love doing these mantras too, because these positive mantras and these affirmations, if you keep doing it and keep saying, you know what? Today's gonna be better than yesterday. Today is gonna be better than yesterday. I'm gonna write my story today. Today I'm gonna be happy. And just start with these small things. And it doesn't mean get up and change the world or run 10 miles, right? That's not realistic. And the divine doesn't want that. But when you shift your energy, it's like those pools with kids, right? Remember when you were kids and you'd have everybody going in one direction in the pool and then somebody'd say switch and then you would try to go the other way? That's a perfect scenario for me. And in the beginning, it was so hard. You're like, I can't do it. And you're trudging. And all of a sudden it goes and you start floating the other way. Well, that's what our energy is. Sometimes in the beginning, it's a thought. Everything starts with a thought. It's like a seed you're planting. I'm going to just plant the seed in my mind that I'm not going to carry this anymore. I'm not. And so just do the visuals in your mind. I'm really big on visualization. Imagine whatever it is that's hurting you or you want to bring to you. Imagine digging a little hole in the ground and it's a seed and you plant it and you cover it up and then you water it. And then you start to just watch it sprout and then you watch it keep getting bigger. But every day you put your energy into that. You can do it at the same time every day, but I like to pick a certain place. You can do it in the car, it doesn't matter. But it's about being consistent every day, watering that seed and saying either whether it's forgiveness or bringing something, it's both. You can do the same thing for both. But when you keep watering it and you doing that, Jen, all of a sudden you're just like, I don't even know I was mad anymore. What was that? What? What
Yeah.
was that? Why did I care? Then all of a sudden you start bringing more happy people into your life. It's like when you want a job and don't have one, but you can't find one. But then as soon as you get one, 10 other people are like, I'm looking for a job. I'm looking for a job. It's because you stopped worrying. It's because you shifted your energy. It's because what mattered then doesn't matter now. Then all this new stuff wants to come in. It's like if you have a boyfriend or don't have one, you're looking for one, you get one, then you have 10 other guys are like, do you want to go out? It's like, well, why didn't that happen before? Because you were putting so much negative energy on what it was, and now you're not. So all this new stuff has room to come in. It's like clearing a closet. You've got to give room and space. You can't keep buying clothes your whole life, not getting rid of the old clothes. It's not going to fit. It's the same thing with the mind and the negative thoughts. As soon as you do that, Jen, it happens. It does. It happens. It just does.
I love all of those small little things that the listeners can do, the letter or even the mantra things that you're saying. These are just very simple things that you can start to practice that really will invite more forgiveness into your life because you're going to see that makes you feel so good. You are not going to want to waste your time with anything that's negative. You are going to want to get rid of it. And that doesn't mean that I don't ever get angry or anything. So I want to be clear about that. I mean, there are things that I get upset about. I just don't harp on it. It's like, okay, I'm mad. I'm going to let myself be mad for these few moments. And then
Yes.
I'm going to move past this because if it's not something I can do to change it, you're limited. So why am I going to keep just putting the energy to that? You know what I mean? So I would just encourage our listeners to definitely start doing some of these things daily. I would just say, remember that forgiveness doesn't mean that you're forgetting or excusing people's behaviors. It means you are choosing your peace over your pain.
And that's a perfect way to say that because that's honestly what listen, we're not robots. We're gonna get upset. Even when we're driving, somebody cuts you off, you're gonna get mad during the day. We're gonna get frustrated and aggravated with people that just little things. That's just life's journey. It's not about that, but it's about when it starts to affect your daily life. When it starts to hold you back, when it starts to keep you from moving forward and keeps you stuck, that's when you start saying, this is bigger than just being upset for the weekend because somebody in your family, your friend, or somebody did something. So you get mad, frustrated. That's life's journey. That's being human. We are human, right? We're going to have human experiences. That is, but when it starts to affect your every thought, when it starts to consume your thoughts, where you're going, where you're not going, then that's when you finally have to just say, my gosh, I deserve more than that. I need more than that. I'm here for more than that.
Yeah,
But yes, and
absolutely.
all these daily mantras, though, all these little things, and you'll find one that works. And the thing is, too, the reason we want to put a lot different out there because what somebody's going to connect with, somebody else isn't, right? So you'll find the one that you go, yeah, I think I like this one. This one
This is mine,
works.
yeah.
Yeah, this one, I like this. I can do this. I can do this. And it's not about interrupting your life or taking time out of your life, sitting in the corner, having to, hum for 20 minutes, stare at the moon, howl, bark, all these things that people are like, I'm not doing it. I don't have time. It's more of a thought process for me. See, the mind is the most extraordinary muscle that we have. We barely use any of the mind. We barely do. So it's when you start planting these seeds in your mind, saying, you know what, today, do it driving the car. Today, you know what, talk to yourself and say, and say your name. You could say, Jen, today I'm going to let go of this person, a coworker at work. Let's just say it's anything, right? I'm not going to let this affect my day today. I'm not. I will not. And when you just start to say it every day, what I mean? I'm going to choose peace over pain. Like, I love that. I'm choosing peace over pain. Then you just start, and in the beginning, it might be hard. You might go, "I can't do this," but then you go, "No, this I actually felt better today. Wait a second, I didn't feel it. They actually were nicer today. Maybe my energy shifted and it shifted their energy because people feel your energy too. See, your energy arrives before you do. People have to understand that when you go to meet someone or go somewhere, your energy is going to always arrive before you do. You know how people go meet someone, they'll go, I knew they would be like that. I had a feeling they were going to be like that. It's because their energy got there before they did. So this is what we have to understand. It's such an amazing concept, and I cannot wait to keep diving into this every week. And I really will start getting into more detailed and depth things about, visions that people have and about journaling and, as we go. But it's just about getting people to understand how we want to help them and who we are and what we're doing. But to even start with these little things, because people do write in all the time, Jen, you see it and say, thank you, I needed this today, that mantra, that message, it helped me get through
Yes.
the day. It helped me to forgive. It helped me to love myself. And I just think if you get one person, it's like lighting that candle. You light one candle and they light everybody
There it
else's,
goes. Yes.
right? And so this is what this is about and understanding that heaven is for real. There is a divine world. We didn't hatch out of eggs. We came from somewhere. We go back to that place. They're watching over us. They love us. So it's about reaching out and not being afraid and opening people up to understanding, you know what? And I'm looking at the clock, it's 10:10. See, so the angels are saying, we love this. So it's just a beautiful thing. And I'm hoping everybody comes on this journey with us because I don't think there's much out there like this for people to, we really want to teach people not to be afraid and not make it complicated. It's about not making this complicated for people, and let everybody, no matter who you are, you can connect. There's no judgment here about any faith or religion. This is about helping you to be better for your soul and letting your soul's journey have a beautiful ride down here because we're supposed to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I
I like
agree.
it. So Jen, you know what? We're just beginning and I keep hoping we keep saying this that everybody joins us on this journey because who doesn't wanna make their life better? Who doesn't wanna feel peace, and who doesn't wanna know their mother, their father, their children in heaven are still with them and hear them and are connecting and sending them signs? We're gonna get into all that too about signs, what I mean, about how to understand and ask for them for yourself too that you can. So as we get going, I'm really excited. I know I have to hold back sometimes. I wanna do it all at one time, but we wanna give a little bit at a time and let people, come on this journey with us. So, Jen, I hope you have an amazing holiday weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Okay? We'll see you next week. Bye.